Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of 10 Minutes With. Now, I recently had the opportunity to chat to a young man called Charlie, who works for a new charity that recently arrived in Hounslow called Little Village. He was very kind and agreed to sit with me and tell us a bit more about the charity, the philosophy behind it, and the work they do. This is 10 Minutes with Little Village Hounslow. Hi everyone, I'm here with Charlie, a young man from Little Village, the charity I told you about earlier on in the week, and he's going to tell us a bit more about the charity and what it does.
Hi James, thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you very much for joining us. You're actually on the first episode.
Oh.
So it's kind of special.
I feel special. Yeah. Wow.
So we'll start off, get straight to it. The first question is, why the name Little Village?
It sort of comes off the idea that it takes a village to raise a child. And we're here as, a very much a volunteer-led charity that draws from members of the community who have spare time or have cleared out their attic recently and want to donate things, and trying to bring those two elements of the community together to help raise, a child.
Who came up with the idea for Little Village? How did it start?
So I think as lots of things start, there's different kind of lore. I've been told different locations and different, groups of people. But essentially, it was sort of 6 years ago, was started in one of our founders' living rooms, and
fantastic.
Was run out of there for the first few months. I think our first donation delivery was about early 2017. And, again, that's a team of about 5 or 6. And now we're around 50 staff. We're serving, we served close to 7,000 families last year.
And is it in central London and the surrounding area, or is it throughout the country?
It's largely London, and largely North London, although we're branching out into, the West and, Hounslow. And, growing steadily on, which is lovely.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So what do you actually do? That's the simple
Myself
question.
or the charity?
No, the charity. Well, and you as well. Tell us a bit more about yourself.
Well, I don't do a lot.
You don't
but
do
the
a lot.
charity is brilliant. It's basically, call ourselves a baby bank. So it's like a food bank, but for all the things that you need to raise a child up to about the age of 5. So nappies, toiletries, clothes and toys and books, and then also bigger things like cots and prams. A lot of that stuff depends on the parent situation, whether they live at the top of a flight of 10 stairs. They might not lug a cot up there, but they might take a mattress or something like that. Or space is a whole thing, but we get families who need help, and they can be referred to us through a third party. We have around 1,800 referral partners now of whether that's midwives or school teachers or social workers.
Frontline services.
Yeah. And then they'll sort of connect the dots with us. We'll discuss with the families how we can help, what they might need. Sometimes we suggest things that they might need.
Yeah.
And then box it up, send it off.
Oh, wow.
That. Yeah.
Okay. And how do people donate? Can they just turn up, bring stuff over, or?
We're sort of a mixed bag.
Do you do it through the website?
Yeah, sometimes there are social media drives. We'll put things on our websites, on our different platforms, Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. That more depends on whether we're really low on something critical, like beds. We need, always get demand for beds.
So you can ask for specific things.
And we'll just be like, everyone who can see this, check your attic, and that often works quite well for us. Other than that, we have walk-ins where people have just, either their kid has outgrown everything or they've just found this extra lovely pram in the back and they'll bring it into us and we'll take anything really.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Don't get any ideas.
And I've come across a particular book that I was quite impressed by that doesn't seem wildly appropriate for children, so we won't be putting that one in a
bundle
gift basket
anytime soon.
Yeah. So how does someone who wants to maybe help you guys, or in a voluntary way or anything like that, how do they go about applying for a position?
So we mostly get volunteers through our website, which is littlevillage.org.uk. We have a whole sort of volunteer sign-up process. It's pretty straightforward in that you kind of just pop in your name and your email, just so we have some way of contacting you if anything changes. You can pick different slots and shifts for whatever weeks. We kind of work on the system of we'll take what you can give us. So if you've got spare time, we would love to have anyone, and that's, more or less how we work. We don't tend to keep people strict to certain time slots and, kick you out after that slot is finished.
So it's quite chilled out then.
We're quite relaxed, and oftentimes we get people who walk in and are just like, hey, I've got a free hour while my job center appointment gets sorted out. Can I come and, do a bundle for you? And that we're more than happy with. The more hands, the better, really.
Fantastic.
It means the more families we can help and the more people we can reach.
What are the future plans for Little Village? What's the vision type thing?
Well, I think, as is probably true with a lot of charities, as I said, we helped close to 7,000 families last year, but there's an estimated 60,000 families in London that live in poverty and are exactly the type of people that we'd love to be able to help. So I guess in terms of future, in an ideal world, we'd be serving everyone. We'd be able to cover all of London. But right now it's a bit of a difficult prospect. We do coordinate with a lot of other charities that work in different boroughs.
So food banks.
Food banks. Even there's a few that do similar things to us for different parts of London, and we'll share info or stock or anything with them that they might need, and vice versa. So that is how we see it, a way of covering more people on top of what we do. But in an ideal world, we'd grow to a point where we can help everyone in need.
In an ideal world, places like this wouldn't be needed, would
No,
they?
exactly.
That's just
the day I can lock that door would be a huge day.
All right, well, thank you very much, Charlie from Little Village, and I think that went reasonably okay. I will see you next time for 10 Minutes With.
Thank you very much.
See you later.
So that, by my reckoning, wasn't quite 10 minutes, but it does give me the opportunity to say again a massive thank you to Charlie for taking the time to sit with me and have a chat. And an absolutely huge thank you goes to Little Village themselves for taking the chance on this brand new podcast and being so open to it. Thank you so much from everybody at Sanctuary TW7. We really appreciate it. And if you would like to donate to or volunteer for Little Village, you can find out information on how to do this through their website, which is www.littlevillagehq.org. That's littlevillagehq.org. And as a volunteer myself, I can honestly say they are a lovely group of people, and so I can literally guarantee you'll have a great time doing it, if you choose to. Anyway, on that note, it's time for me to go, and I'll see you in the next episode of 10 Minutes With. Take care.